1 in 9 men and women is out of work. That's more than 1 million in this state alone.
It's few and far between. Jobs are hard to come by. How about you? You hiring?
But now they have another problem to contend with, the Reagan budget cuts. Karen Starr earns just £2 an hour as a medical assistant, less than the family would get on welfare.
I guess I could stand to lose my house and everything else. I don't know what would happen. You know, I don't have anybody that I could, you know, I guess you'd end up, I don't know, maybe move back home with your mother or something. You know, trying to find somewhere to stay, you know, put a roof over your head.
Once 1,000 people lived here, now it's less than 500. 4 of these houses are officially for sale, but we were told you could buy any one of them if you made an offer.
Are you sad that it's come to this? Are you sad that...
Oh, absolutely. It's terrible to see your hometown die.
The name on the map is Detroit, but to anyone who lives here, this is Motor City, where America builds its cars in the industrial heartland of the Midwest. And perhaps the only city in America where you simply won't see a Japanese car. The people of Detroit stay loyal to their product, which has been good to them in the past, but has nothing to offer them now. The dole queues reflect it. Ford alone has laid off 50,000 men as car sales last month fell to their lowest level in 21 years. 1 in 9 men and women is out of work. That's more than 1 million in this state alone. And behind the statistics are real people.
What's the situation in Detroit like at the moment?
Don't look good. Doesn't look good at all.
It's few and far between. Jobs are hard to come by. How about you? You hiring?
The only thing I can say is move somewhere else.
But they don't move on because the only places with jobs are Texas and California. And the jobs there are in oil and high technology, which these people aren't trained to do. The government has no retraining schemes, and where could they find the money to make the journey anyway? So instead they go on the dole. But now they have another problem to contend with, the Reagan budget cuts. Now you can only draw dole money for 26 weeks. If after that you still have no job, you move along the road to the social welfare office. And that's where the Reagan cuts hit worst. The qualifications allowing you to go on welfare are now much more stringent. Any income at all, however small, disqualifies you. And even then there's less to go around. The food program, clothing, shelter, heat, medical insurance, all have been cut by between 5 and 10%. At a time when benefits ought to be increasing to help cope with the worsening recession, the exact opposite is happening. Ricky Starr is a welder, now laid off for the 3rd time. After earnings of £200 a week, he now draws half that in dole money. And that dole money will stop in April because the 26 weeks he's allowed to draw the dole will have run out, and he can't put his family on welfare because his wife works. And under the new Reagan rules, that disqualifies them. Karen Starr earns just £2 an hour as a medical assistant, less than the family would get on welfare. But she has to work, she says, out of pride. But that means no food subsidies, no help with the mortgage, no medical insurance.
Are there many like you in Detroit at the moment?
I probably have 20 friends of my own that will fit in this same category, having the same problems that I am right now. There is nothing left.
So what will happen?
I guess I could stand to lose my house and everything else. I don't know what would happen. You know, I don't have anybody that I could, you know, I guess you'd end up, I don't know, maybe move back home with your mother or something. You know, trying to find somewhere to stay, you know, put a roof over your head.
For more and more people, the only answer is charity. This soup kitchen opened in 1929 in the Great Depression and is as busy now as it must have been then. Free of charge, anyone can walk in and have a meal of soup, meat or fish with vegetables, salad and bread. The place is funded solely by voluntary donations, and ironically, in the depths of a recession, there's no shortage of food. A local jeweller auctioned £5,000 worth of jewellery and gave the proceeds to the Capuchin friar who runs the place. This box contained dozens of cans of food donated by a local housewife. But certain people will never take charity, and in Detroit, they're already talking of a long, hot summer ahead. John Suchet, News at 10, in Detroit. The tall cedars and firs that blanket the hills of the Pacific Northwest of America have for years brought prosperity to the area, and the people who work the timber have been able to rely on it for their livelihood, none more so than the people of the little village of Clallum Bay. Clallum Bay is dying. Unemployment here is 80%. 4 out of 5 men are out of work. Once 1,000 people lived here, now it's less than 500. 4 of these houses are officially for sale, but we were told you could buy any one of them if you made an offer. The people of Clallum Bay are moving out. Their timber has been killed by the recession. And this is the kind of timber the area produces. A small piece, this, I'm told, yet it alone contains 10,000 feet of wood, enough to build 2 houses. And that is the root of the problem. America simply isn't building houses. Last year was one of the poorest years for housing ever, and these men are suffering for it. They are lumberjacks, loggers they're called in America. 3 years ago, they could take home £1,000 a month, felling trees that were exported across the country and across the world. Now they're taking home £300 a month dole money. 3 years ago, 300 loaded lorries would drive out of here in a week. Now you're lucky to see 3. We saw none. They won't starve, these men. They can go to the beach and get crab or salmon. They can shoot deer, and they'd rather do that than move into the big city and possibly eat in a soup kitchen. But help is at hand of the most unlikely kind. The state is going to build a prison here, and that means work for the men.
Did any of you ever expect when you started out as loggers that one day you might be building a prison?
That was a last resort. That was the last alternative we had. But out of desperation, what do? You know, you're drowning and somebody throws you a life ring, you're not going to throw it back at them. You're going to grab it and go with it, you know. And
it's going to go a long ways to stabilize. I mean, it'll give us something. What it's going to do, there's about 27 to 30 homes, nicer homes for sale now. And when this prison comes in, you can't even give them away now. When this prison comes in, there's going to be enough people come in to buy those homes. We'll have to build some more.
Are you sad that it's come to this? Are you sad that...
oh, absolutely. It's terrible to see your hometown die.
And so the timber which for generations has produced the traditional wooden houses of America lies stacked and unwanted in the Northwest, because people can't afford to take out mortgages at 16% and higher. What happens on Wall Street reaches 3,000 miles west. The mills that cut the timber lie idle too. This is one of 3 to shut down this week, laying off 200 men. Only a skeleton crew remain to tidy up. And soon the timber town of Clallum Bay will be known for only one thing: its prison. John Suchet, News at 10, in Clallum Bay, Washington State.